book, you talk about the abuse you took online from people who said some very hurtful things about you. Why do you read that crap?
I don't read it anymore, just because it would tear me up. It tore my self-esteem down so low, it was insane.
Yeah.
And you read it and you believe it and you take it to heart, and eventually you just have to say, I can't read any of it. I can't read the good, I can't read the bad.
That's right.
All that I can do is be happy with who I am. And, it's the people who want to put you down, it's their own issue.
And they're out
it's
there.
There's some problem. It's their insecurity with themselves. Maybe they don't like how they look. It makes them feel better to put somebody else down.
Right.
And in truth, it's 13 to 50 people's opinion out of how many millions and millions and millions
The
in the
ones
world?
who are negative actually do more of the writing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, because usually the ones who have something positive to say are too busy living an actual life.
Yeah. Good point. That phrase, get a life, is
Get a
one of
life.
the great phrases of the 20th century.
It is.
Let's talk about badass.
That should be the name of your book.
Get a life.
Like it.
Okay, now, your top badasses in your book.
Right.
By the way, before I get to that, I have
Did you see your name? It was number 11, and they
here?
cut it because they said I could only have 10.
Who did that?
You were at Random House. You should really take it up with them.
They have got some goddamn nerve over at Random House. I like Hyperion better. So there. I happen to turn to this lovely poem that you wrote when you were 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
Listen to this, guys. She says, I want to just read a little bit of it. I feel the rocks under my feet and the wet sand oozing between my toes. I guess you were on the beach. When I'm at the beach, I feel God's presence as I walk on the wild side. You were 7 years old and you were a badass already.
And I was predicting my life at 7.
You're walking on the
self-fulfilling
wild
prophecy right there, huh?
Yeah. Can you remember what you were thinking in the second grade? And you won first place, by the way.
I did. I do remember. I was living in Palos Verdes Estates at the time. We had just moved to California from Tennessee, and there was this poetry contest at my school. And I was down on the beach at Malaga Cove walking, and it was my parents and I always went to the beach. We lived right there, and I was like, "Mommy, I have my poem," and I sat down and started saying all these things. My mom was like, "Okay, I've got some crazy kid." Like, it's amazing.
Did they put you on medication after that?
Immediately. And then I went off when I was 19, and we all know what happened after that.
Yeah, we do. We don't have to rehash all of that. Read the book.
Exactly.
But in the book, you do mention some top badasses.
Yes.
The ones that didn't get cut off the list.
Right.
By Random House.
Well, you're in the second book.
Oh.
Yeah.
Badass too.
There's like chapters on you.
You have Madonna, Angelina, Lucille Ball, Drew Barrymore, Oprah Winfrey, Sandra Bullock, Katharine Hepburn, Tina Fey, and Reese Witherspoon. Oh, I adore her. She's such a great little actress.
Classy girl.
I love her.
Yeah.
So what do these women have in common?
Well, I think that they have an inner strength that you can see in all of them. There's a confidence, there's a strength, but there's also, a sense of humor, and there's also sort of this. It's like they're in on it constantly. They know what they're doing, and they don't take themselves too seriously. What they do is just a job, and they enjoy life and embrace it and are compassionate.
Right. I think that Angelina takes herself seriously.
I think she probably takes her humanitarian work very, very seriously. Madonna is a badass because that is one of the longest running careers ever, to be relevant for that long of a period of time, to constantly evolve and change.
She reinvents constantly.
She reinvents. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, she's like Thomas Edison. I like your helpful tips in here also. I like how you get out of a speeding ticket. What did you tell me what you tell the cop?
Well, if I was really speeding and I really need help out of that ticket, I will look at him and be like, I have diarrhea. I have to get home.
Does that work at the LAPD? Okay.
Sometimes, on occasion, it has worked. Honesty also has worked, too. I got to be honest. Just turning to them and saying, you know what? I'm an idiot.
You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot. Just call me an idiot. And I think cops respect honesty, but they also respect a sense of humor. So when you turn the diarrhea line out, it can work.
Okay.
My mom's going to be like, I cannot believe you were talking about that on CNN with Joy.
So what?
That's great.
It's fun. let's say, I only have a minute left in this segment, but I want to know, you said that commitment is not for everybody. Now, you've been married twice for short periods of time.
Once I was annulled. So
which one was annulled? You were married to Rick Solomon.
The second one was annulled. Rick.
Rick was annulled.
Yes.
He's the one who made the sex tape with Paris Hilton. Did you ever see that
That's
tape?
what he is famous for, yes.
Did you ever see the tape?
I watched about a minute of it, and not by choice. It was, I actually flew into New York to do press for something else, and I got asked about the tape, and I had no idea about it. And I was sort of, bombarded with this and was clueless. And a publicist at the time took me aside and said, I have it. Do you want to see it? And I was like, what? She's like, I really think you should see it. And I maybe watched 10 seconds and got instantly ill and said,
what made you sick?
Please turn it off.
The acrobatics?
I think the two people starring in it, might have had something to do with it. My husband at the time, it's, not exactly what you want to see.
It's not George Clooney and Angelina Jolie.
Right, right.
It's these two.
Yeah. That was
not
talented.
right what he did. He did that behind her back, too.
Oh,
He's
look,
a real
there's
beauty.
two sides to every story. I'm not defending him for anything in the world, but there's always two sides.
There's always two sides. All right, we're going to have